Just want to welcome everyone to Husky Ballpark here at on the campus of the University of Washington, and for today's special announcement. So just to set us back a couple weeks, it was Sunday, June 30th. My phone rings in the morning, and I feel like I'm pretty good at my job, and a friend called who's in college baseball and said, "Hey, you know your baseball coach is leaving." And I'm like, "No, he's not." Lo and behold, that was the day, that was the morning. But like anything in sports and life, challenges become opportunities, and there's a lot in front of us at Washington in our athletic department and with this baseball program. And when you look at the history of our baseball program, 18 conference championships, 12 NCAA tournament appearances, this wonderful ballpark, this extraordinary campus, and an extraordinary history with our program. On the horizon is something different. We're heading into a new conference, a conference that has traditionally been considered a Northern baseball conference. It has the fifth most appearances of any conference in College World Series history, but it's number one when it's with a makeup of traditionally Northern climate schools. So, and when in this new conference, all of a sudden when we emerge into it, we'll be the school with the second most recent College World Series appearance in that new conference. As we thought about what does it take to win in this new conference with a very new, with everything being just different, it's pretty clear to all of us inside of our athletic department that the recipe to winning was always going to be in the Pacific Northwest. We needed leadership and a coach that understood that our edge in this new conference, specifically in baseball, was always going to be found with a foundation here in the Pacific Northwest. So as we went out and sought out that coach, I had the benefit of working in this state for the last few years. You don't have to work long in this state to have Eddie Smith's name come up with anything related to college baseball. I've had the benefit of being able to study Eddie as an assistant coach, as a head coach, and watch him just grow a program from really nothing. The difference here is this is a place that has history. This is a place that he knows very well, but he's also fits Washington. We wanted someone that fit our values, that understand that our edge has always been in human development. So we needed someone that would come here and understand their responsibility to develop young men, to put forth a team that is representative of the University of Washington. And clearly there is no one built for a Pacific Northwest job quite like Eddie Smith. So this is a proud day for our baseball program. It marks many new beginnings because not only do we name a new coach here today, on August 2nd we head to a new conference that we believe the beginning of what our baseball program will look like starts today with this new coach. So before we get into announcing him, we just want to thank Jennifer and Cynthia for making the journey with Eddie here. And it is my pleasure to announce the 25th head coach in the history of our baseball program, Eddie Smith.
Well, what an exciting day. So grateful for everybody being here today. So many familiar faces from over the years. And need to say my first thanks to Pat and Jordan. Really, really excited about this opportunity. But it was many years ago that I was first introduced to the University of Washington, and that can be traced back to my mom and dad sitting here in the first row. A lot of great memories, Husky Stadium, Heck Ed, the old Husky Ballpark. Truly, throughout the years, UW has been a place that spawned a really deep passion for college athletics. And to get to be the coach here, truly, truly an honor. The next thanks I have to give to my wonderful wife, Jennifer, my top assistant. Whenever things are going on at the field, she's the first one who hears me talking about them that night at dinner. She's got incredible perspective, national championship athlete herself, and truly a dream come true she is for me. Kind of going back to the time here as a kid at UW and coming to different events. Those football helmets in the fall, they gleamed that gold off the sun when it was sunny, which wasn't often in the Northwest, but enough. And, to me, that just sparked a love in my heart for this place and kind of marked the gold standard for all of college athletics. As a local, this was it. And, that's a gold standard that we're going to work to uphold here in everything that we do. I can assure you that our players are going to understand how much of a privilege it is to play here, how special it is to play here. They're going to play hard. They're going to play tough. They're going to play for the team and the logo on the front of that jersey. They're also going to represent this place with that gold standard. In the classroom to start with, it's a really critical part of this adventure still of college athletics, and that's important to me. But in the community, the campus community, King County, Seattle, I want our players to be recognized. I want our players to be out finding ways that they can contribute to the game and represent the University of Washington the right way. This place has everything. For all the recruits out there, there's absolutely nothing that this place can't offer. If you're looking for a place to go excel, this has it all. Player development, elite education, world-class city. What else could you ask for? Just can't thank you all enough for being here today and excited to go do it out on the field with this group of guys. Go Dogs. Yeah, that's a great question. So growing up in the state of Washington, my dad, sitting right here, he was a high school basketball coach in the state for 45 years. So for me as a kid, getting out of school for a day or two in state high school basketball tournament time was kind of a pilgrimage for us. So, very familiar with the high school landscape here. Could sit there and tell most high schools what their nickname is and who their rivals are. So certainly want to put a fence up around the state. I think that's a really important thing here as we go forward and we build this, that we get the best Washington high school players wearing the purple and gold. You mentioned the transfer portal era that we're in. It's undeniable. It's here. A couple of years ago, there were two of the top academic schools in the country playing each other with a chance to go to Omaha. And, as prestigious as those schools were academically, they both had 9 transfers on their team. And I think that speaks to the era that we're in. We've got to keep up with the times in that sense to be able to use that as a resource and a tool for building this roster to supplement that Washington and that Northwest high school player.
Yeah, so learning more about who Andy Smith coaches, what is your philosophy of bringing out the best in your players? Kind of shining examples when you coach Dylan Cruz at LSU, who then went on to be drafted second overall by the Nationals.
Yeah, I think some of the things that mean a lot to me are that our players come every single day to put their best effort forward. We talk about that a lot. That's a mental skill that can be developed, and I think there's a lot of room for players to grow in that area when they enter college. And I think that it's important that they individually come ready to go and ready to play, but also have a mindset that they're doing it for their team and they're doing it for each other. And they want to put everything into it because they don't want to let their teammates down. And I felt that that's the kind of team that, experiences the most success. And we're always trying to coach our guys with that sort of theme from the first day of practice in the fall all the way to the last pitch is thrown in the spring.
Eddie, I'm wondering what your 4 years in Longview talking about running a program and how that has informed your journey since then.
4 years in Longview, let's see. I'll tell you what, those years were so special. That town was incredible. It was my first opportunity to be a college baseball head coach, and I learned a lot and learned some things the hard way and how not to do it, but also really learned the importance of figuring out the place, figuring out what needed to be done in that moment, which is always going to change with the times and the place. And I think more than anything, I realized how important it is to have those relationships with the players, make sure that the players are always first and that everything you're doing is to get the right players on the bus and then challenge those players, push those players, but also make sure that they know deep down at their core that you are really caring about them and their development.
Was it always a goal of yours to get back here, where you started playing and coaching? And I was also curious, was Washington part of the mix before you went to Notre Dame out of Centralia?
It's been awesome getting back here. I think that the chance to be the coach at the University of Washington, the flagship university in the home state, it's more than I could ever imagine in that sense. And you don't get to choose where you coach in college athletics. You go where the job is. And the fact that it lined up here, truly special. There's no doubt about that. And you ask about my own playing career, was Washington in the cards? It absolutely was not. I was not good enough as a player. So I try to make up for that on the coaching side.
It may be the first time in our school's history when we did the initial Zoom with the candidate. He Zoomed in from his mom and dad's house because he was staying there for recruiting. So that was always a nice little spin in the process.
As a head coach, what do you feel your definition of success is?
As a head coach, I feel responsible for every aspect of the program. I mean, if the popcorn's burnt in the first base concession stand, that's my fault. And so, to define success, I think that comes in a lot of ways. I think certainly we live in a world where wins and losses is, that's where you're going to see a lot of that definition. That's the reality of Division I athletics. But there's also other wins to be had that are less tangible, and I think it's always been something that's really fulfilling to me when I see our players go on. And Longview was just mentioned. The two of the three high schools there are coached by players who played for us at our time at Lower Columbia. That's fulfilling. Seeing stuff like that and seeing people get opportunities to go play in the major leagues, that's really fulfilling as well. So, I would also add that we had a 3.57 team GPA at Utah Valley this last year. Seeing the guys commit to the classroom and understand the value of that degree, another win. So I think success is defined in a lot of ways, but at the end of the day, it's also reality. We're here to win ball games. They're turning that scoreboard on. We're there to score one more run than the other team at least.
At Utah Valley, your team's in a whole bunch of their offensive school records. What is it about your approach, what you see from you guys in the ditch that maybe is a little bit different from the other head coaches in the country?
Gosh, that's a good question. I think it always starts with the players, getting the right players, getting great players who are eager to get better each and every day. I think that is something that we try to identify the best we can in, the unpredictable process of recruiting. And so that's a good starting point. I think that, from the offensive perspective, it's certainly a passion of mine. I mean, there's not a whole lot of things that I think about more than hitting and trying to get an individual right or get a group going in the right direction when it comes to the offensive approach and plan and swing mechanics and everything else that dives into hitting. I think what I would tell you is some things that we're going to work to chase are scoring the most runs that we possibly can. I know that's Moneyball 101 right there. OPS is the stat that correlates with that the most. So, our hitters will be groomed to understand that OPS is the target, and we'll work every day to get a good pitch and hit it hard.
You mentioned the players, Alex. Where do you stand with the roster, and how much attrition and addition do you have going into next season?
Yeah, I think that it's something where in college athletics right now, every school is working through roster at an expedited rate, right? I mean, the portal has just changed everything in that sense. And anytime there's a coaching change, there's going to be uncertainty for everybody involved. And, that uncertainty, it can breed opportunity and positive change for some. And for some, it's something where they might think that opportunity is better somewhere else. And, I think right now it's a matter of getting the right players on the bus, people who want to wear purple and gold, people who have the pride that I have in being a Husky, okay? And that's what's really important to me right now. Certainly there's a baseline talent that's needed to go compete for championships. And I think, when you combine those two things, we're working really diligently right now. I know we've got two coaches out there on the road recruiting and trying to find those guys all over the West Coast as these events are going on right now, and we're keeping our nose down to try to put this roster together so we can compete for a championship right away.
Should this be a program that makes the NCAA tournament most years? Like been pretty sporadic in the last couple of decades.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think that we're in a time where the landscape of college athletics shifted so much that we're all trying to understand, the landscape and the exacts of that. I think that we've got a lot of great resources here. It's incredible. It's the University of Washington. To me, that rolls off the tongue really, really sweet. And, I think when you get on the phone with a recruit, it's amazing when you call and, there's some schools I've been at, you call and you just don't get a whole lot of answers. I've experienced this far when you call and you mention that you're with the University of Washington, those phone calls and text messages get returned really quick. And so I'm really excited about that. I certainly know for myself, I've really excited about the opportunity to go coach in an NCAA tournament. That's a dream, and then go win some games while we're there.
Are there challenges to playing and recruiting in college baseball in this part of the country in particular? How has your experience prepared you to maybe address them?
Oh, there's challenges in every part of the country. It doesn't matter where you are, you're going to run into challenges. And to me, putting that puzzle together is what's a really fun part of the job. And, it's something where I think that the network in the state of Washington and the Northwest in general is something that I'm going to lean on heavily as we're putting our staff together. Our target is to have a lot of Northwest guys on this staff so that we can expand throughout the state and make sure that we've got every rock unturned. It was mentioned that a couple of our players at Utah Valley that were everyday guys for us, all conference players, all American in one case, were Washington natives. And, we want those type of players to be wearing the purple and gold. And so I think that that's the plan here as we go forward. And then to supplement that with guys sprinkled in from different parts of the country, the portal, using the facilities that we have here, the experience of going to the University of Washington, the degree that comes along with that to attract really nice pieces to complement the in-state player.
How close are you to finalizing your staff? I mentioned there's a couple guys that I'm assuming that you can't publicly confirm their own careers. How close are you to finalizing that whole staff?
Right, we are getting there. There's a process to that for sure, but I feel really good about the position we're in on that right now, and really excited about those guys that we've been talking to, guys that love the University of Washington, have had success in baseball, and I think we'll be able to make some progress on that here shortly.